What's up, everybody? Christian Harmansky here, Century 21 AA Realty, and the topic I'm going to get into today is probably something, if you're a first-time home buyer, maybe if you just haven't bought a home in a long time, something that you probably, want to get an idea of. So, topic, of course, is the buying process. Now, what are the steps of the buying process? Getting from starting to look for a home all the way to closing on a home. Okay, so the first step is definitely finding yourself an agent. Hopefully me, but you want an agent that's looking to be diligent, looking to work for your needs, understand your needs, understand what you want in a home, understand the essentials, what school district you want, what town do you want, what specific home would you need, what you specifically need in that home. You definitely want an agent that understands your needs and wants in the home that you're looking for. You want somebody that understands the market, understands interest rates, understands prices in certain areas. You definitely want somebody that's diligent and sees the home, because especially in this market where homes are moving at such a quick pace, you definitely want an agent that sees the home, and as soon as he sees the home or she sees the home, sends it right over to you. And so you see the home, hopefully before everybody else, so you have a chance, if you really love the home, to put in an offer in. Okay, so number two, this is the second step, is getting a pre-approval. Now, why is getting a pre-approval important? Well, you want to know what you can afford, for how many taxes you can afford, and this kind of helps us determine what areas to specifically focus on, what type of homes to focus on. If you're pre-approved for 350, 375, and let's say that's like the range for like a ranch or a cape, you would definitely want to know that. You would definitely want to know what you can possibly afford and where you can afford it, because that kind of goes into the 3 P's, which is property, place, and price. You want to know these 3 things. And the pre-approval will help you decide on these 3 things, because especially in a market where there's such a shortage of inventory, or there's limited inventory, 3 of those P's, you're going to have choose at least 2 out of those 3, because it's such a shortage of inventory, you're not going to be able to get all 3. So if, for example, let's say we've been looking for a home for however long, maybe a month, 2, 3, whatever it is. And we're just not finding really anything, that we would have to visit the 3 P's, meaning price, property, place, and we would have to decide 2 out of the 3 which are the most important to you, because once we determine which are the most important 2, it'd be a lot easier finding you a home. So let's say with the pre-approval, let's say your price and you have to have this price. Let's say that's important. You can't go any further than this price. Well, now you have to choose between property or place. Let's say property. You have to have this home already move-in ready. You have to have a high ranch, and you want a rental income, whatever it is, and that's important to you. Well, now you have to look at the place. If these 2 things are important and you need these 2 things, you might have to look in the place where those 2 things, the price and that type of home, are in that price range in that area. Or on the other hand, let's say you really don't care about the property. It doesn't matter to you. You're going to live there for 2 years and then sell, whatever it is. So, but you definitely know that you want to stay in Lindenhurst or West Babylon or Center Reach, whatever it is, because your child goes to that school. Now the place is important, and the price is important. So that will make the process a lot easier, because now we can look into these towns that meet your specific criteria. Okay, so that's why you need a pre-approval. Also, with the pre-approval, when you do find your home, you find the home that you really do like and love, I would not be able to submit an offer without a pre-approval, because a pre-approval shows the homeowner and the other agent the fact that you can afford this home. Nobody wants to take a risk saying that, let's say you offer the asking price or even above asking price, and let's say you offer that and the homeowner looks at it and you don't have a pre-approval. Why would they take the risk of, hey, yeah, this person's giving me more money than I'm asking for, but what if they, it turns out they can't even get this home? I just wasted X amount of time on this person when I could have gotten somebody that's already pre-qualified. Okay, so step number 3 is obviously now finding the home. Once you get the pre-approval, we can determine your price, where you want to look, what towns you want to look in, and especially, what you really need in the home. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, the style of the home. Do you need a rental income? Anything like that. Do you want a full basement? Do you need a garage because you love your car? Whatever it is. So once we do that, then we start finding you the home. And let's say whatever amount of time passed, could be a day, could be the first day we went out, could be a week from now, whatever it is. Let's say you find the home. So now the next step is obviously putting in the offer. And now the offer would consist of your pre-approval and a sales agreement. So I would, I'd fill out whatever your terms and conditions are, meaning how much do you want to offer for the home, what's your down payment, how much you want to put on contract, and how much you want to put at closing. The loan amount you're going for, and as well as your conditions, meaning like do you have a home to sell before you can buy this one, or are you renting, anything like that. Okay, let's say that whatever the terms are, whatever the conditions are, let's say the homeowner agrees to them. They love your offer, they want to go forward. So now in the next 24 to 48 hours, what you need to do is a home inspection. And it's in the name, you obviously know what a home inspection is. It's getting somebody to inspect the home, to see if there's anything structural that needs to be done. Is how old they'll tell you how old the roof is, how old the boiler is, how old the hot water is, if there was any problems with the home. And they'll give you a good idea if there's anything super important that needs to be fixed in the home. And then you'll get, possibly depending on the home inspector, how long it takes them to make the report, you'll get a report and it'll show you all the things that need to be done. Usually it'll say like 50 whatever things need to be done in this home, but the main thing you have to pinpoint is what are the important things, what are the essentials, things that we really need to get done to get this deal forward, or move this deal forward. And then then you would have to negotiate that in the contract. And let's say you do the home inspection. Now their attorney draws up the contract, and once they draw up the contract, they send it over to your attorney. Your attorney will take a look at it, see if he or she wants to make any changes, any omissions, whatever it is. Let's say they do make some changes, they will send it back over to the seller's attorney. Seller's attorney will review it, and once he okays everything's good, they'll send it back to your attorney. Your attorney will sit down with you, and that's when you actually sign the contract and give your down payment. Once that is done, all that is submitted or sent back to the seller's attorney. Seller's attorney sits down with the seller, and once the seller signs, you are fully under contract. Okay, so that's step, I believe we're on step 4. So step 5, now this is when you start applying for the commitment, as well as we need an appraiser to come in to look at the home, to kind of price out the home, just so we know that the price that the homeowner is asking is actually market value. Because a bank doesn't want to take the risk of giving you a $350,000 loan on a house that's really worth $320,000. It wouldn't make any sense for them. So the appraiser will come in. They would take some pictures, and they would create a report, do a comparative market analysis, and let's say your commitment's done. It takes about 30 to 45 days to actually get the commitment, Title report is the next thing. It's the one that takes the longest, is a title report, because the title company has to go back to see who all the people that own the home, any judgments, if there's any liens on the house, because you don't want to buy a home with judgments and liens on it. You don't want to be paying for that. That would make absolutely no sense for you, to get stuck with somebody else's debt. So once title report is done, now the attorneys are looking for a closing date. You're pretty much clear to close once you get your commitment, once the appraiser is done, once the title report is done, and then you will be contacted by your attorney to tell you, hey, we're having the closing on this day. So the step after that, honestly, I lost count. I'm not even sure. I think we're on like 6 or 7, whatever it is. That's when I would be doing a final walkthrough with you. So either the day before the closing, or maybe like 2 or 3 hours before the closing, whatever time frame works better for you. We would look at the house just to see that whatever was negotiated in the contract, whatever was okay was told by, whatever was negotiated into the contract for the seller to do, to take care of, to fix anything. You want to go through the final walkthrough to see that everything was actually done. You don't want to be walking into a house with, let's say, the boiler needed to be repaired. You don't want to have a broken boiler. You don't want, maybe there was like a crack in the wall, maybe there was whatever it may be. You want all of that taken care of, especially if it was put into the contract to be taken care of. So walkthrough is done. Final step is closing. This is where you sit down with your attorney. You'll have the seller and his attorney. You'll have the bank attorney. You have the title representative. You'll have me, the seller's agent. You'll have pretty much everybody at the closing. And this is where you're going to be signing all the important paperwork, all the important documents that your attorney will be presenting to you. And once all of that is done, that's pretty much it. You get the keys, and you're officially a proud homeowner living the American dream. All right. So I'm going to jump into now some do's and don'ts. Okay. So I wrote down some do's and don'ts that while you're getting everything set up for the whole buying process for getting your mortgage. So some do's: save and submit all your future pay stubs, save and submit all future bank statements, keep copies of all documents submitted to processing. You definitely want to have a copy of everything in case whatever. Better to be safe than sorry in case anything happens. At least you have the documentation right there. And continue to pay all your debt and loans on time. Obviously, that one is everybody should understand why that one's important. And last but not least, call me at any time if you have any questions. The last thing you want to do is wait till the last minute when maybe I can help out in the situation and maybe guide you through some things and maybe answer some questions that you don't know specifically the answers to. So if you ever have any questions throughout the whole process, just give me a call, text me, whatever it is. Some do nots. So don't make any cash deposits, don't make any large purchases on your credit cards, don't co-sign a loan for anybody, don't change bank accounts, don't apply for new credit cards, and don't change jobs. You don't want anything jeopardizing the fact that you are standing in the fact that you might be getting this home. You want to do all these things so you're guaranteed to get the home that you want. So you don't want to jeopardize anything. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope that clarifies the whole buying process, some do's and some don'ts. And again, Christian Hermansky, Century 21 AA Realty, and until next time.